For gamers, even though the subtle mouse is one of the cheapest products you can buy, it's also one of the most important. It can literally be the difference between winning and losing, especially when it comes to competitive gaming scenarios. Endgame Gear is a company that understands this theory in its entirety. That's why their new gaming mouse, the XM1, ditches the flashy RGB and space age aesthetics and concentrates more on the high performance technology found within. It comes equipped with a PMW 3389 sensor, on-run switches rated at 50 million clicks, and a lightweight design that rivals the likes of Logitech's G Pro. On paper, it seems like the perfect marriage between design and specifications. But how will it stack up in the heat of the battle? Hello and welcome back to WePC. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Endgame's XM1 mouse and providing you with an in-depth review. Let's touch upon the size and weight. The XM1 gaming mouse falls into the medium-sized ambidextrous gaming mouse category, coming to the table boasting a super lightweight design of only 70 grams. That puts it in the direct competition with the likes of the Logitech G Pro and the SteelSeries Sense. Tough competition to say the least. While 70 grams might seem a little on the light side for some users, modern day gaming sees esports players opting for much lighter mice, so it's no real surprise to see Endgame taking this route. It certainly puts the XM1 into the eyeshot of competitive esports players. To touch on size, even though the XM1 is considered a medium-sized mouse, the hump is still one of the lowest we've ever seen. It offers much more in width than it does height, something few people will naturally frown upon. However, for me personally, I felt the XM1 had a very nice ergonomic design. The XM1 is an ambidextrous mouse that comes to the table boasting a very subtle design. It has a fairly flat shell with very little prominence in the hump and delicate curves throughout. The side grips slant in slightly, another fact I personally enjoy quite a lot, and the left side grip was just big enough to house my thumb without the buttons becoming a nuisance, whereas the right side grip offered a ton of room, enabling me to find a comfortable hand position. Overall, the shape is fairly basic and one that would play host to many variations of hand size and grip style combinations. Even though the XM1 only has mouse buttons on one side, it still offers an ambidextrous shape that feels great for both left and right hand users. The guys at Endgame have opted for a smooth matte finish that works extremely well from a performance viewpoint. It offered excellent grip whilst gaming and at no point felt awkward to hold. So let's get on to the buttons. Endgame has made this one of their main selling points, so I was excited to see what they had to offer. Luckily, I was not disappointed. The XM1 comes equipped with 5 buttons that make use of on-run switches rated at 50 million clicks, fairly standard at this price point. They feel relatively tactile and offer an extremely low actuation point that is, again, ideal for gaming. They have almost zero sideways movement, which is a great sign of build quality, and provide a nice crisp actuation sound that certainly appeals to me. The side buttons have been well placed, but as we said above, are positioned in such a way that could promote misclicks if your hand is on the larger side. Whereas the actuation force required for the main clickers is neither hard nor soft, the side buttons are probably better described as feeling spongy. I'm not a huge fan of this, but it wasn't an issue during gaming sessions. Underneath each button, you'll find the pre-sorted on-run switches, which have been paired with Endgame's patented analog switch technology. This provides users with a sub 1 millisecond response time, effectively giving you the edge over your competition. The scroll wheel offers up the most tactile feeling button on this mouse, delivering medium resistance that can be utilized in-game for accurately switching between weapons. Each step easily registers with your touch, and there is very little, basically zero, play between individual steps. Activating the scroll wheel button does require a little force, so be aware of your use of mice with much less resistance. Before we touch on the sensor and how this mouse performs in game, we'll quickly go over the equally important build quality and cable. Firstly, the good news is that the build quality of this mouse is extremely good. When you consider the XM1 is only 70 grams, you'd probably expect to hear a bit of rattle or be able to see visual evidence of poor build quality. However, that isn't the case here, though when we shook violently, you can hear a slight noise from a part inside the shell of this mouse, and to me it kind of sounded like it was coming from the scroll wheel. However, it's extremely subtle and only really occurs when shook quite hard. The cable is something that does leave a little to be desired, if truth be told. It's on the shorter side of mice cables with a 1.8 meter length and is made of abrasion-free plastic material. When you compare this against some of the mice that have recently hit shelves, such as the DeathAdder V2 or the Basilisk V2, it doesn't quite come up to scratch. Having said that, it does fit into every bungee we have tried with ease and offers little to no resistance while in use. So all in all, it's not the worst con to have. The XM1 comes equipped with the hugely popular PWM 3389 sensor that we've seen used in many top tier mice before. It offers absolutely flawless performance and pixel precise accuracy as you'd expect. At no point during my time using this mouse did I experience any spinouts or angle snapping, no matter how aggressive I was swiping. In game, I was seriously impressed with how this mouse performed. The lightweight design ensured that fatigue during long gaming sessions was much less frequent. Even aiming in first-person shooters seemed as good as my trusty MX518. That's a huge compliment, by the way. The grip of the XM1 was another huge positive for this mouse. No matter how hard I decided to swipe, the mouse always felt like it was under my complete control. All the buttons were easy to reach and use in game, something I rely on heavily in CSGO, with misclicks occurring very rarely. The skates, or feet, are PTFE manufactured feet which offer much greater longevity, better movement, and overall a smoother gaming experience. They may not be the fastest I've ever used, but that's certainly not a bad thing. Seeing as though this mouse is geared up towards competitive FPS gamers, you don't necessarily want speed. You're more interested in things such as accuracy and stability, something these feet offer in abundance. To quickly touch on the software, Endgame, like other first-time mice manufacturers, do offer a form of software that can be used to adjust mice settings and set a profile. However, that being said, it is extremely entry level, and seeing as though this mouse doesn't come with additional features such as onboard memory of RGB, there really isn't any need for an elaborate software package. So on to the verdict. Is this mouse worth your hard-earned cash? Well, let's look at this from a couple of different angles. If you're into flashy mice that have cool RGB and features like profile toggling, onboard memory and scroll wheel resistance adjustment, then this mouse probably isn't going to be your cup of tea. On the other hand, if you're into pure gaming performance, subtle aesthetics, and lightweight feel, this mouse could be exactly what you're looking for. It comes to the table boasting one of the best sensors you can get, alongside a great design that is both comfortable and extremely light. It currently retails for around £50 or $60, which is starting to border on the higher end of the price spectrum. That does put it into direct competition with the likes of Razer's Def Adder and Logitech's MX518, two mice that come to the table with an array of features and benefits that the XM1 does not. However, having said that, it does offer a much lighter design and great ergonomics to boot. So it really does come down to personal preference. Ultimately, I consider this a wired version of the Logitech G Pro wireless that is both lighter and cheaper. If you're a fan of the G Pro but you can't quite stomach the cost, this might be a fantastic fallback option. As always, links to this product will be in the description down below, as well as an article for a further review on this on our website at weepc.com. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and we'll see you in the next video.